So I thought I would put together my playpen just because I'm a little bit frustrated that I haven't had time to put my cage together just yet. So I was like, I will do it in miniature, and here we are. Um, so I'm starting off with paper bedding. This is paper bedding that I had left over from Flamey, so it's not the exact sort of same stuff that I'll be using in my cage, but for now it's absolutely fine. Next up, I'm adding a tissue box. So this is going to serve as a hide, and I used tissue boxes like this with Flamey all the time. They're just such a nice size. It's better to watch them with these tissue boxes though, because if they chew them, there is ink on the outside of them a lot of the time. So it's fine in a playpen because you're obviously going to keep an eye on him, but it's better to kind of just make sure that they're not going to be chewing them all the time if you use them in the main cage. I've just dug it into the paper bed in there so it's nice and stable, and made sure that it's easy to get in for the hamster. These little trays are ones that you get, when you have like cake bars and stuff like that. They're the little kind of trays that you get with stuff like that, and I find them just really useful for all kinds of substrates, especially because they're not too heavy. So if you want to put them like on a paper layer, the hamster's generally not going to, unless you put sand in it, the hamster's generally not going to hurt themselves digging underneath it. So this little tray is going to be for sand, which I'm adding now, although I should have probably made sure I was happy with the bedding around it before I did that, because now I'm trying to add bedding retrospectively and getting it all in the sand, so I'm kind of worse than a hamster at this. So before I get a hamster, I'm going to have to like dig those bits of paper out of the sand. So yeah, lesson learned. The other tray is going to be dug again into the substrate so it's nice and solid and nice and steady in there, and I'm going to put beach chips in this one. That's a lotus head. So this is a lotus head that is sadly not good enough for the shop, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine for my hamster. And I'm adding a slate where the water's going to be so that the hamster's got an opportunity to wear their nails down even in the playpen. Now I'm adding a little bit of forage. This is just a mix of leaves and flowers that'll smell nice and just add a little bit of visual interest. So I'm just going to put that from the hide to the lotus head so that there's still lots of paper bedding they can get to as well. Next up, I'm adding a scrunchy muncher. I know I said I wasn't going to add snacks, but this scrunchy muncher is wrapped in paper, so it'll be fine. And a walnut. And this little pot is going in. It doesn't have a microgreen in it, but it will have a microgreen in it eventually. And now I'm adding a toilet roll, and I'm just digging it under the fluff to kind of create a little tunnel. So I just thought it would be a good area for a hamster to hide, something interesting for them to chew and play with. So it's just a nice little bit of interest in the playpen for them to explore. And finally, I'm dotting marigold heads about. So I'm kind of obsessed with marigold heads. That's probably Flamey's fault because he was also obsessed with them. But I actually think they pair really nicely with sand because they don't fall apart as much as other flowers. And there we go. This is a tour of the finished cage at hamster level. So you can see everything that I've put in there. It's all looking pretty good to me. And because it's going to be a little while before I get a hamster, I'm just going to put a bin bag over the top of it and then put the lid on. And that's just going to make sure that it doesn't get dusty while I'm waiting for a new hamster.